So, okay. So it was 2012 before Costco had opened up. We're in North Dakota with the population used to shop at Sam's Club. My beautiful mother and my younger brother were walking to the store until a group of young men in a pickup truck stuck their heads out. I was the only one who made eye contact with the group of guys inside of the truck. One of them shouted profanities at my mother, and the one that stuck with me the most was "Go back to your country, you terrorist." Younger me thought to myself, isn't this my country and my parents' country? Cheyenne High School has a small but mighty growing Muslim population. As a goal, our school is to dissolve any type of discrimination. With a raise of hands, does anyone here have Muslim friends, classmates, students, and even family members? Islamophobia is a pervasive issue that stems from ignorance and even fear. It is crucial to dismantle these prejudices through education and active community engagement. Throughout this TED Talk, we will explore the cause and effects of Islamophobia. First, we will develop into the specific factors that contribute to this issue, particularly the lack of education and awareness. Then I will discuss how education can serve as a powerful tool to combat these prejudices. Finally, we will look into the actionable steps we can take as a community to foster understanding and inclusivity. According to Delhi and Mogahid, in the article Islamophobia is pervasive, systematic, and a threat to all, Muslims are the faith group to report experiencing interpersonal discrimination. This occurs in various settings, such as when interacting with others on social media, 56%, at work or at school, 42%, and when interacting with strangers in public places. Although many may argue that interpersonal discrimination against Muslims is not a significant issue, the statistics provided by Mogahed clearly show otherwise. The high percent of reported discrimination in multiple settings underscore the pervasive nature of Islamophobia. This proves that the problem is both widespread and deeply ingrained, supporting the position that Islamophobia is a significant societal issue that needs to be addressed. Furthermore, the consistent report of discrimination across different environments such as social media, workplaces, school, and public places, highlight the systematic nature of these prejudices. This evidence contradicts that any claims such as discrimination is isolated or rare. It is further supports the idea of Islamophobia is pervasive, and it's a problem that significantly affects the daily lives of Muslims, reinforcing the need for comprehensive measures to combat it. One huge issue with Islamophobia that it often leads to local acts of vandalism and hate crimes against the Muslim communities, creating fear and insecurity. The city of Moorhead reported to in their news article, the Moorhead Fargo Islamic Community Center, 2215 12th Avenue South. Moorhead was vandalized last night, Saturday, April 25th. Hate-filled profane messages were spray painted on the siding windows and doors. The FBI is assessing the Moorhead Police Department in this investigation. This evidence shows that Islamophobia can manifest in local communities throughout acts of vandalism and hate crimes. The incident at the Moorhead Fargo Islamic Community Center highlights how Islamophobia can create a hostile and unsafe environment for Muslims at a local level. Additionally, this evidence underscores the seriousness of Islamophobia as a local issue requiring intervention from the law enforcement agencies such as the FBI. It shows that Islamophobia is just not a societal or a global issue, but one can have immediate and endangering effects on the local communities. Let us take a moment to understand the exact meaning of Islamophobia. Islamophobia is a fear, prejudice, and hatred of Muslims that lead to hostility and intolerance throughout harassment, abuse, incitement, and intimidation in both online and offline settings. This is driven by institutional, ideological, political, and religious hostility, which extends into structural and cultural racism, targeting the symbols and makers of being a Muslim. That was quoted by United Nations International Day to Combat Islamophobia. The United Nations says that Islamophobia provokes hostility and intolerance through harassment and bullying and abuse both online and offline. This evidence shows that Islamophobia is a significant issue that manifests in various forms in hostility and abuse affecting Muslims in multiple environments. This evidence also proves that the issue is not confined to a single area, highlighting the pervasive nature of Islamophobia and the need for comprehensive action to address it. One significant change is for bystanders to engage in supportive behaviors such as shouting from a distance, moving towards the victim, or offering a reassuring smile. They can also ignore the perpetrator, offering to call the police, record the situation with their phones if it's safe, and at once write down everything that they remember from the incident. Source CNN, How to Combat Islamophobia. This evidence proves that proactive bystander intervention can provide immediate support to victims, making them feel safer and less isolated. Furthermore, these actions can deter perpetrators from showing that their behavior is being watched and that there are consequences for their action. This this collective effort can significantly reduce the incidence of Islamophobia and create a more supportive and inclusive environment. According to Campus Pride in the article, Take Action, How Non-Muslims Can Help End Islamophobia by Ali Betham, a student volunteer from the University of South Carolina, Columbia. Effective ways to combat Islamophobia includes avoiding hateful rhetoric, considering intersectionality, being mindful of your consequences and actions, speaking out against Islamophobia, supporting each other, advocating to elected officials, educating oneself and others, and reporting incidents. This evidence shows that by avoiding hateful speech and being aware of our actions, we can create a more respectful, inclusive environment, thereby reducing instances of Islamophobia. Additionally, by speaking out, supporting one another, and educating both ourselves and others, we can foster a community that actively resists Islamophobia and pushes for a systematic change through elected officials. This comprehensive approach ensures that sustained and effective efforts to combat Islamophobia. As we reflected on the causes and potential solutions for Islamophobia within our community, it is clear that education plays a pivotal role. In summary, Islamophobia is a pervasive issue that stems from ignorance and uneducated masses. It manifests as a prejudice, discrimination, and hostility towards Muslims, often fueled by misconceptions and stereotypes. This causes Islamophobia. The causes of Islamophobia are deeply rooted in societal ignorance and a lack of understanding about Islam and its followers. To effectively combat Islamophobia, it is essential to take proactive steps such as refraining from hateful rhetoric, considering intersectionality, speaking out against discrimination, supporting one another, and educating both ourselves and others. Our call to action is clear. We must all strive to be informed and compassionate, actively working to dismantle the ignorance that fuels Islamophobia. By doing so, we can create a more inclusive and a respectful society. Remember, Islamophobia is a pervasive issue that can be overcome through education and collective effort. Thank you.